What is going on, everybody? We're here and we are live. What is going on, Fear the Beardo?
Nothing much, man. I woke up about 20 minutes ago, so I'm chilling. Let's get this thing started, huh?
I woke up at like 7:30, so I've been up for a
Holy
while.
fuck.
I've been working. I've been doing work. I obviously, if you can't tell, this is not just where I was before with everything taken down. I'm in a new spot. I moved over the past couple days. That's why I haven't been on stream. That's why I haven't been making videos. And I was lucky to even get my fucking setup done before this stream. But we're here and we're ready to rock and roll. I've been moving way too much shit over the past couple days. I fucking hate moving.
I hate moving too, man. And here's the thing, like, I have a truck, so it's often where it's like I'll have friends or family be like, oh, hey, I'm moving. You have a truck. You want to help me out? And I just have to, like,
say no.
I can't say no. I can't say no because then it's like, then you're an asshole. Then you're a fucking asshole. It's like, oh, yeah, well, what do you got better to do to help one of your best old friends out from moving? It's like, okay, all right, fuck, I'll help you move. Just buy me lunch and a few beers, and then we'll call it even.
Yeah, it's not even, though. It's not even.
No.
But that's slowly over the next couple days. We'll build this thing back up while I make sure the rest of the house doesn't look like a complete pile of shit with boxes half open everywhere, packing materials everywhere. It's fucking trash.
And I still have a gift from Chris Coran I need to give you. We got to meet up one of these days. I do. I meant to bring it over for the Super Bowl and I just completely forgot. So, we'll have to meet up or something and I'll get you your gift.
Sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, because Chris told me what he got me since it's been so long since he fucking gave it to you. And it sounds sick. So
I know what it is, and it's pretty awesome. But
it'll go pretty well with this signed Walter Payton stuff I have behind me, I think.
I think it might.
I think it might go pretty well with that. Yeah, I have fucking nothing up. Like, I'm gonna hang that. I randomly pulled this out of a box. There's my fucking background.
Yep.
Today, my background for the day. But yeah, obviously you guys have been talking. Well, Jay and Jeremy held it down the last couple days. A lot to talk about Captain America box office. I think that's probably been talked to death by them. At this point, it's wait and see how it holds. But there's like almost nothing more fucking frustrating to me than having like the same discussions that we had 2 years ago for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania about this fucking movie. Everyone's like, oh, wow, what a solid opening. I'm like, what do you mean it's a solid opening? It would be a solid opening for Captain America Brave New World if it was I don't know, like a random DreamWorks like new IP or something. Or a musical that costs, $50 or $75 million to make that had $100 million domestic opening weekend. Everything has to be put in context of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Did you know, Beardo, that more tickets were sold for Captain America, the First Avenger in 2011 over that first weekend than we had tickets sold for Captain America Brave New World?
I did not know that.
Not even fucking close. Like 8.5. So even though it only had a $65 million opening weekend, inflation, ticket prices, all these things, around 8.5 million people went to see Captain America, the First Avenger in 2011 opening weekend. About 6 million people went to go see Captain Black Falcon America Brave New World. And that's not even talking about Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier had like 11.5 million, 11.7 million people go opening weekend. But, we can't talk about those things. We can't talk about those things.
How far it's fallen, man. How far it's fallen. And that just shows you how many people are not excited, don't give a fuck, or are just checked out. Completely checked out. They want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and that's like concerning, right? Obviously, inflation is a thing. Ticket prices go up over time. We know all this stuff. But if you, like, all the comparisons they were trying to make to the Winter Soldier, because Winter Soldier in 3 days made about $95 million opening weekend. Captain America Brave New World made about $88-89 million over its 3-day weekend. So people were like trying desperately to compare these things. The reality is twice as many people went to see Winter Soldier as Brave New World. And so when you look at the audience decline, the lack of people who are interested in it, that is important going forward.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to see what happens over the next, because all of it's going to depend on the hold. It seems like it's probably going to have a similar tracking to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium, and if it does, it's not going to be a good thing for it.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen it?
I have seen it.
Yeah.
We reviewed it on Friday Night Tights. This is my take on it. I don't think it's the worst thing that they've come out with over the past couple of years. I think the Marvels is worse. I think a couple of the Disney Plus series are worse. But one, you could tell it was an editing mess. It was edited to hell. Yep. The entire purpose of this movie seems to be to convince you that Sam Wilson belongs, like he should be Captain America, which we already had an entire fucking Disney Plus series about, Captain America, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But it also seems to me like the movie itself was originally supposed to have a lot more politicized content, a lot more probably identity politics heavy stuff, social issues. Like, I think the original movie had a lot more of that in there. And I think they looked at the current landscape and the way things are going and the rejection of so much of that. And I think they stripped a lot of it away.
I think that one character, the Ruth character, she was she was in charge of the Secret Service for the president, the little 4-foot Israeli chick. I think that her role got completely diminished. I think within reshoots and editing, they pulled the rug from that character.
Probably. And honestly, the stuff that I saw from her was fucking awful. She looks weird in it because she's like 4'11" and is wearing clothes that makes her head look really big. And she's like taking down all the, it's like, it didn't look good when she was in it. But yeah, I mean, they planned that, and they planned that character before the most recent war broke out between Gaza and Israel, or Palestine and Israel, whatever. So I think they did take a lot of that stuff back. And instead, what they're left with, stripping all of these things they'd originally intended away, that probably would have turned a lot of people off. They didn't really replace it with anything. So it just seems really shallow and hollow.
Right.
And if they had, honestly, if they'd left some of that in there, they'd probably pissed a lot of fucking people off, but it may have been more interesting as a whole. But it's just a nothing burger. It's a rehash of Winter Soldier and Civil War, along with, oh guys, you remember the Incredible Hulk from 15 years ago? Well, I hope you remember it, because we're going to make some references. But don't worry, we're going to remind you of the references we're about to make so you can understand it. It was just, it's going to be very forgettable. It's going to be very forgettable.
It was very bland, but like you said, I agree. It wasn't the worst thing that they put out. But Captain America or Sam Wilson, he is so fucking overpowered for not having the super soldier serum. He is so overpowered. He's a combination of Iron Man, Black Panther, and Captain America. He's flying around and kicking ass like he's Iron Man. His entire suit is pretty much Wakanda tech with his wings, so he can, redistribute the energy that's absorbed through his wings. And he's got the shield, and he's constantly talking about in the second and third act when he has that meeting with Bucky. He's like, man, I should have just taken the serum, man. I don't know why I didn't fucking take the serum. And then, of course, Bucky has to be like, well, no, Steve picked you because you would never do the serum. You're human. It's like, okay, Bucky, you're fucking human too. You just have the super soldier serum. We're all everybody's fucking human who has taken the serum. But he's like, but Steve chose you specifically because he knew that you would never do it. You're more Captain America than me. And then he fights Red Hulk, and he's like, I should have fucking taken that serum. It's like, yes, you should have. Yes, you should have. But it doesn't matter because he's got his plot armor is so fucking thick. Like, he's invincible, dude. He's invincible.
He has everybody's like gear base. He has everybody's tech and everybody's gear. So he doesn't need to take the serum, I guess. But that begs the question, why isn't everybody just fucking getting all this shit? But and the entire movie is also advertised as a Red Hulk versus Captain America movie.
It's like 5 minutes of the film.
It's 5 minutes at the end. And I will say that I think the, stuff they did with Hulk when he was Red Hulk was like, okay, that's cool. It's pretty well done, pretty menacing, whatever. But fuck, it didn't mean anything. And then at the end, he's basically like, sun's getting real low, big guy. Just need to hold those flowers and think about your daughter.
Yep.
Like, that'll calm me down. Box office is getting real low, big guy.
Yeah.
Just calm down.
It was the same thing that he did at the end of the TV show. It's like, you need to do better, Senator. He's like, you need to do better, President. Remember your daughter who's not here that's going to show up like near the credits for about 5 minutes.
Well, for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, 5 seconds. Yeah.
Like
Liv Tyler shows up.
She had like 3 lines or something. She did have a phone call, I guess, with him. But yeah, she had like 3 lines. It was bad. And
I think that was a reshoot too. They had zero intention or plans on bringing back Liv Tyler to play. What's her name?
Betty Ross.
Betty. And they totally brought her in for the reshoots just to do that one scene where, yeah, she delivered like 2 lines of dialogue.
It was weird. We got a $50 super chat from Elite Neo.
Hail.
Working from home today. One of our managers posted in our work chat asking who else was disappointed by Captain America Brave New World. If only sharing videos was allowed in our work chat, I'd be sharing a bunch of you alls to raise awareness. But look, we don't want to get you fired there, Elite Neo. We don't want to get you fired, okay? But thank you for the big 50, and congrats on working from home. It's nice, as I can attest. The chat for $2 says, hi, guys. Nice to see you. Definitely bright spot every day.
Thank you.
You probably chatted this before you knew it was me and Beardo today. So
very good chance.
We appreciate it nonetheless. Keenan. What's up, Keenan? Did y'all read the book Hatchet by Gary Paulson? I feel like everybody in middle school had to read Hatchet.
I think I did read it in school. Yeah.
I don't remember too much of it, to be honest with you. Don't remember too much of it. Stephen De Leon for 2. Oh, great. These 2. Stephen De Leon, his own hype man.
Mm-hmm.
Andre CR for 5,000. Fear the Rhino. This is a test to see if Ryan likes the new Super Chat font.
He changed it.
I don't even know what you're talking about. New Super Chat font?
Yeah. Jeremy changed it last night, except I don't know. Here we go. It was, here, let me see if I can find it. What Jeremy changed it to last night. Shit. Keep reading, I'll find it.
Yeah, I don't even know. Comics Dad for 2. Beardo. Hey, Ryan. Time for Marvel Company reset. There's one Marvel project that from what we've seen and what we've heard looks at least like it might be interesting, and that is probably Daredevil Born Again. Now, certainly there's a lot of reasons to be skeptical of anything that Marvel puts out at this point, but from what we've seen of the trailers, it looks like they're trying to do truly an extension of this Netflix series. They scrapped the entire thing and started from the beginning, brought in a lot of old people that used to be involved with the Netflix series. So maybe there might actually be a little bit of hope for it. We'll see when it comes out, but the trailers have looked good. There's one person who wants to be a part of it, Beardo, probably because she knows she has no spot or no place in the MCU anymore after her failure of a show. And that would be Tatiana Maslany. She-Hulk star would absolutely return in Daredevil Born Again. I have a lot of serious bones in my body.
We're good.
I mean, she had Daredevil's bone in her body at one point. That was basically the show. That was basically the show. But it's going to be so strange because they're not going to address the She-Hulk thing in Born Again at all. They're not going to talk about it because it doesn't even make fucking sense. He was completely out of character from what we saw in the Netflix version and what we're probably going to see in Daredevil Born Again. He was completely out of character. Was he with Karen at one point? What was he cheating on Karen when he went out there to fuck She-Hulk? I don't fucking know. But the thing is, no fans want her back, and I don't think Marvel wants her back at all. Marvel has made no indication like that she's going to be coming back for anything. And in fact, when they were specifically asked, when the people behind Daredevil Born Again were specifically asked about how they were going to address She-Hulk, they just said, yeah, we're not going to talk about it. We're going to ignore that. We're going to pretend like it never fucking happened because it probably doesn't fit in this world that they have.
Yeah. I mean, I watched maybe the first 2 or 3 episodes of the show, and just gave up. It was so fucking hard to watch. It was miserable. It was boring. It was gay. Is this the worst thing that they've put out? She-Hulk? Of all the things, TV shows and movies, She-Hulk's got to be in conversation for the worst thing that Marvel has put out.
It might be.
And they're breaking the fourth wall. And I don't know too much about the She-Hulk character.
The She-Hulk character does do that in the comics. So that is accurate. That is something that She-Hulk does in terms of breaking the fourth wall. But the problem with, look, they decided to make it so that all the people would hate it. The people, very specific people, would hate it. That's what they did. They were open about that. That a lot of the fans who have been complaining about the current direction of Marvel, they decided to poke fun at that and make fun of those people and make them the villains of this story.
Right.
And it was made for an audience that doesn't really exist in the Marvel universe, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, that audience does not exist. The people that She-Hulk was made for, essentially angry, bitter women who hate men, right?
Yeah.
There's probably some of them out there that are fans of the MCU, but not very many. But they're trying to get them to become fans of the MCU, and it didn't work.
And who likely just want to sleep around with zero consequences.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what she was doing. She was doing, I mean, what? There was about like an entire episode that was just dedicated to her bringing men back to her apartment, and she sleeps with them and forces them to do the walk of shame, and Daredevil was one of them.
That is true. I think the Daredevil episode was a little bit later on, but yes, that was a part of what she did. Which, hey, maybe she'll end up like, what is that chick's name? Lily Phillips or
Lily Phillips or Bonnie Blue. She's gonna start competing for how many men that she can sleep with in one day, and then maybe find out a few weeks later that she's pregnant.
Now, you know what? It might be, if they're gonna do a She-Hulk spinoff, they just need to have her become an OnlyFans chick. Like, that might work. That might work.
Yeah, why not at this point? Do it.
But I don't think it works in Daredevil Born Again, because Daredevil, when his appearance in She-Hulk was not his character that we'd seen on Netflix, and it's not the character that we are promised to see in his appearance in the MCU. It was an aberration. It was an abomination.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was Elseworlds.
I don't think she's coming back.
No, especially with the tone that we've seen from the first 3 seasons of Daredevil, and now with these trailers that we've seen for the next Daredevil Born Again. It looks like it's taking itself very seriously. They're going back to the roots of the Netflix show. The entire cast is back. You also have John Bernthal as Frank Castle. He's coming back to play Punisher. Everybody's back, and you can tell from the tone. Now, we've been wrong before. We've been hurt before. We've seen Disney do this, not just in the MCU, but in even Lucasfilm, where they put out a good trailer for let's say the Kenobi series, for example, and you think that you're going to get something, back to basics, back to what we're used to, and you go and watch the show, and it's completely fucking different, and it was fool's gold. And hopefully that's not the case for Daredevil Born Again, but I think we all deserve to have our reluctancies to Daredevil Born Again. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been hurt before too many times.
Yeah, people are very right to, and essentially what I said when I looked at it, it's like, I think that the trailer was really solid. I think it sets a great tone from the things we'd heard about how it was just not going to be a very faithful, extension of the Netflix series. So they ripped it up. They basically started from the ground up and started over and reshot a bunch of things. I think those are all positives for it, but you can't sit there and trust it. You can't sit there and trust that they're about to give you something when we've seen so many missteps from them. So we'll see when it comes out. But yes, I assume you saw the chat talking about your
reluctancies. Is that not a word? Reluctancies make sense. Reluctancies totally make sense. You're reluctant. Reluctancies.
And you pronounce it a little strange too, but that's all right.
That's because I'm tired. It's early.
Somebody said, Ryan, why do you say verses as verse instead of verses? I think usually, what the fuck is this? I think usually I say verses, but occasionally when I'm when I'm talking about it. It's like, She-Hulk versus Daredevil. I'll occasionally say something like that, but I think I probably mix it up a little.
Reluctancies make sense.
That font is really dumb.
Yeah, that's what Jeremy had last night. You want me to change it back?
Yeah. Keenan, did you see the movie Tuck Everlasting? No, I actually thought it was about trans people, so I didn't. But no, I've never seen that movie. Jessica Lindstrom, Secret Racism. Brian plus Tardo equals snooze fest. You're not wrong.
Thank you.
The chat for 2 inflation ticket prices. Nah, do not care anymore. Thanks, the chat. Jack Allen for 5. Black chick from Wicked is Jesus. Actually, it was my DEI bingo card. Also, Beardo, how do you feel about Saquon Barkley? Get in a ring. Go Birds.
Good for him.
You guys talked about Cynthia Erivo becoming Jesus last night, right?
No,
or maybe
not.
I talked about it on Daily yesterday because I saw a clip.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about that today, but then I saw in the clips that there was already a clip of that from yesterday, so I figured they covered it.
Yeah, it was Daily yesterday. It was in a super chat last night. We just kind of agreed that it's just nonsense and blasphemy and horrible miscasting. But that Jesus Christ Superstar, the entire thing is blasphemous.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's some people who may not understand. It's not like the original Jesus Christ Superstar from the 70s or whenever it started. It's not like that is some like holy representation of Jesus. No, the entire thing is presented from Judas's point of view, and it's meant to essentially cast doubt on everything about Jesus. And it's essentially, it's Judas basically saying he's become like this cult of fucking personality who thinks he's bigger than he really is. And that like Judas is the sympathetic character. And so like as stupid and retarded as her getting cast as Jesus Christ is, which is stupid and retarded and insane. I think it's actually kind of right along in line with everything that Jesus Christ Superstar, the original show, represents anyway. So it's not like shocking to me or whatever that they would do something like that, because it's not like the show in and of itself was originally ever supposed to be respectful of Jesus or religion in any real way.
Right.
So, but yeah, I don't know who's going to go see that with black bald ass female Cynthia Erivo playing Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'll skip out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that they would have, I don't think that they would have like, I don't think that they would have attracted me in whoever the casting was.
Yeah.
Ryan doesn't understand that gender swapping is rampant in Hollywood. Yeah, I've never talked about that, artiste MJ. I've never talked about race swaps. I've never talked about gender swap characters. I just don't understand. Thank you for opening my fucking eyes, artiste MJ. Holy shit. I appreciate it. Joey Fouts for 5. Jeremy still considered part of FNT even though he never shows up or watches anything? I guess technically. But yeah. I think he technically is still a part of FNT, yes. He shows up every once in a while. Maximus BT for 199. Are you retarded? Thank you.
Appreciate it.
The chat, yes, I expected Jeremy and Jay. You two are great also.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. Ian, let's go Bucks. I think you're wearing a Pirates hat, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got this like yesterday or 2 days ago. Came in the mail.
Well, there you go, Ian, who's
Thank you
right here. Don't make fun of Beardo. He's wearing my favorite hat.
There you go. Thank you for the 199.
I've been to PNC Park. It's nice. It's got a great view of like the bridge right across the river there in Pittsburgh. It's a good place to go see a ball game, even if the team's going to suck. Tobias Nexus for 10. Had to read Scarlet Letter in high school. That book is so dull. I just don't give a damn about your crappy adultery in Puritan times. It's mostly responsible for me putting off reading novels. So you read one book you didn't like and you're like, fuck it. That's like watching one movie you don't like and never watching a movie again. Doesn't make any fucking sense, Tobias. I just don't think you want to read. Crew for $5. Ryan, EU question. If I'm remembering right, in the Bane novels, he's using Vipad or Vipad, however you want to pronounce it. But then in Shatterpoint, Mace says he created it. Can you help clear this up? Am I missing something? I don't know if Bane ever says anything like that in the novels. I would be a little bit surprised, I guess, if that was the case, if they did say that. But I don't specifically remember that being said in the 3 Bane novels. I easily could have overlooked it. There's a lot of discussions about lightsaber forms and lightsaber techniques in the Bane novels in general, which is really interesting. But I don't know if the pad is ever specifically addressed. And like, I don't know why a Sith would feel the need to use that necessarily anyway, but maybe it would work. But Vipad is essentially a more aggressive form of lightsaber combat that most Jedi typically don't use. You're essentially feeding off the darkness of your opponent and being aggressive while not exactly giving in to the dark side or anything. So it's a tough line to walk for Jedi, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and look, crew. I don't specifically remember him saying that, but he may have. Yesterday's TNME was hilarious. My favorite part was Beardo yelling, "I'm reading super chats."
Did you see what happened last night?
No, what happened?
I don't even remember how this got started. It might have been
I missed Tuesday night's main event. It's usually like a staple of my Tuesday night. I spend 3 or 4 hours just watching you guys enthralled, but I have to admit I missed it last night.
Oh, man. Well, it was... Honestly, it's fine that you missed it because for about 30 minutes, it was just Jeremy and Ripa just bitching at each other about Trump. And Jeremy was trying to gatekeep being a Trump supporter and wearing a MAGA hat, and it was about the IRS. And Ripa said that if Trump abolishes the IRS, then he would put on a MAGA hat. And Jeremy was trying to gatekeep and say, even then, you didn't vote for Trump, so you don't deserve to wear a MAGA hat. And it was about 30 minutes, and we were all getting fed up. So I literally put everybody else backstage, and it was just Jeremy and Ripa, just the two of them on the screen. And then eventually I brought everybody back, and I'm like, all right, guys, it's time to shut the fuck up, and I'm going to read Super Chats. Because Jeremy, like before every main event, yeah, I'd like to keep this at about 2 or 3 hours. And by the time that they were done arguing, we were at 3 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm like, okay, let's move on, ladies. Let's keep this show going.
Well, look, I missed out on it, but considering how many arguments I've been in with Jeremy and how many times me and Eric have yelled at each other, I could imagine how it would go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe I missed it. Can't believe I missed it. Let's see. Victor Chavez. I just realized Beardo is Carl from Aquatine.
I don't know what Aquatine is.
You ever seen Aquatine Hunger Force?
I don't think so. I don't know.
You might be too young. Eddie M, those weirdos won't dare to make a play about Islam. Well, yeah, they don't want to get fucking bombed. They don't want to get their heads cut off in a ceremony. Ryan has never talked about Dave Filoni. That never came up when I talked to him, says Booming Bob. Yeah, I've never talked about Dave Filoni before, ever, including not on a panel at MegaCon.
I'm not this fucking fat ass. What the fuck? This fucker? This dude? Carl from Aquatine?
Yeah.
That's Jay. That's not me.
That's oh damn.
The fuck?
So you're calling Jay fat?
Well, everyone else is calling me fat. The fuck?
So you just decided to bring Jay into it for no reason whatsoever. I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
Come on. That's not me. I don't have a mustache like that.
Yeah, I know. You'd have to shave your beard.
What the fuck? All right. That's not Jay either. But it's more like Jay
Damage control.
That's
Damn,
not.
that's Jay. Like for no fucking reason whatsoever. People were making fun of me,
That's
so I
Jeremy.
made fun of Jay.
No, it's Jeremy. It's more like Jeremy, not Jay. I misspoke.
There you go. And you know everyone's gonna stick up for Jake. Is like he's a great guy. Why would you say that about him, Beardo?
I know. It's Jeremy.
Diz the Jizz, start fun to Ryan to LA to review the play. I don't want to go there to watch that.
Yeah, I'm good.
I mean, give me enough money, I will. I mean, obviously, but like, I don't want to. XR Coon for 5. Thank you, Ryan, for calling out the tards. Thank you, Beardo, for being Beardo.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Mr. Wendell for 5. My man Griggs tore that phony EJ a new one last night. Respect. Also, RK, wear them shoes. I'm not giving you my fucking shoes. Although, while moving, I have to admit, I have way too many fucking shoes, bro. Like, ones that like I'll get because I think they're fucking awesome, and I'll like put them in a box and they're fucking in a thing somewhere, and I don't even realize I have them for like 5 years. Same thing with hats. I've got way too many fucking hats. I got too much shit, man. But no, even if I had 100 pairs of shoes, Mr. Wendell, I wouldn't just give them away to you. That's not my style. Scott Christie Jones for £2. Congrats on your acting debut in Captain America. Listen, I feel insulted that they didn't come to me to play the leader. Instead, they made him look all fucking weird with like a bubbly head and all this shit.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't have needed any prosthetics. You could have just cast me in the role, but they didn't want me. Anthony Mackie said he had a problem working alongside me. So, Tobias for 10. Oh, it was far more than one, Ryan. High school was full of crappy older novels required to be read. I just lost my passion for it after 4 years. Hard to read for fun when we had to for school. I guess, yeah. I mean, a lot of stuff that you were forced to read, required reading in high school, when you're forced to read it, yeah, it sucks. It's like required. Whenever someone's forcing you to do something you wouldn't normally do, you're always probably going to be resistant to it. But there's some good ones that I read in school. There's some bad ones. But it didn't didn't dissuade me from reading stuff I wanted to read. I'm sure there's some fucking weird ass furry books out there for you, Tobias.
There's probably a few.
Rekindle your passion. Enrico Matassa, Beardo with fake news. Mike stopped the argument.
It was like Mike's, I guess, started stopping the argument, but then we all just kind of agreed to move on.
Derek PG Beller for 1. Not will they, but should they decanonize She-Hulk? I mean, I think even by just like if you're just ignoring it, you are already kind of admitting that, yeah, this is a mistake. We don't want anything to do with this going forward. No, they're never going to come out and make an announcement like this never happened. But considering what we saw with Daredevil and how he appeared in that show and the fact that they're not going to address it in any way, shape, or form, that's kind of an indication that they want nothing to do with it. Naggardnall for 5. It's actually Carl from Aquatine's birthday today. They showed his ID on an episode. I'm honored to share my birthday with such a legend. Well, happy birthday, Naggardnall.
Hey, happy birthday, Naggardnall and Carl.
Another year closer to death. Taker for 2. Beardo, Carl from Aquatine, is a Giants fan. It's true.
Is he really?
Yes.
Maybe I am Carl.
There you go. Finally embraces it. Speaking of big days and anniversaries, Pokemon Day is coming up soon, isn't it, Beardo?
Yeah. Towards the end of the month, I believe Pokemon Day is the 27th. And there's been some new news circulating with the Nintendo Switch and Pokemon Day and what kind of announcements are we going to get? More information on Pokemon Legends Z to A and maybe the next batch of remakes. This has been floating around Twitter today. New rumors suggest upcoming classic Pokemon port collection contains Gens 1 through 3. Now, it looks like, in typical Pokemon form, they always release 2 different versions kind of the same game, maybe with just a few different Pokemon and legendaries. Looks like they're going to be doing this as well with the classic collection. So the Pokemon Memories game is going to include Red, Gold, Ruby, and Fire Red. And then the sister game, Pokemon Reminiscence, is going to include Blue, Silver, Sapphire, and Leaf Green. As well as
I like how you refer to it as the sister game, because truly, like, Memories is the male version and Reminiscence 100% is the female version of basically all of these games. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
Like, you started with Pokemon Red, right?
I started with Red. I played Ruby, but I also played Silver first, and I played Leaf Green. Like, me and my brother, we would flip flop. Like, I would start with one, he would start with one, and then once we beat it, we would switch cartridges, and then he would play through the game that I played. But yeah, but usually there's like your main, like, the dudes will play, like, yeah, I'm gonna play Pokemon Diamond, and then, you know, your sister, or let's say your girlfriend maybe at the time, is like, okay, I'll play Pearl version. So yeah, Ryan's right. And then, so these will be two separate games. You'll have the main game and your sister game here, just different versions. And then available for digital purchase, you'll have Yellow, Crystal, and Emerald on the, I guess, virtual console for the Switch. Those will have full Pokemon Home support, and the leaked release date is March 13th, which is right around the corner. So that's like
typical, like, Nintendo type of shit. Like, now this is just a rumor, right? We don't actually know if this is real or not. This is just a rumor that's out there that is supposed to be potentially getting announced on Pokemon Day.
Right.
But that would be a very like them thing to do, to have this huge collection of shit they announce 2 weeks before it actually comes out.
Mm-hmm. So the 4chan post says Pokemon Memories and Pokemon Reminiscence both are going to be Gen 1 through 3 games, co-developed by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. Pretty much everything that we just read. And then, not sure about pricing. It wasn't shown. Digitally, all games in the collection are available for standalone too in their individual apps. So that's, you know, cool. So you can either buy the physical version or you can just buy the individual games on the Nintendo Online, I guess. Big talking point in the presentation is that it's because all games in the collection will have a two-way home support, so you can transfer Pokemon to home, put them in other games, or take Pokemon from other games that are compatible with the Pokemon. So let's say you have a Charizard that's already level 100, that's max IVs and shit. You'll eventually be able to pull them into your Pokemon collection games, which is cool. So that's pretty much it. Home support will be rolled out per gen. So that's typical too. You know, it's not always on launch that you get home support for the new Pokemon games. It usually takes a couple months to get the full home support for it. But yeah, that's just some, rumors about the upcoming Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day later this month.
I mean, we'll see if it happens. I think that if it is kind of like as leaked there, if that does come out, we'll just assume that it gets announced. I do think there's a lot of people that'll hop right on that. There's been people that have been asking for not necessarily remakes, but ports and stuff like that for the first couple generations for a while now.
Oh yeah.
It's not that you can't play them right now if you get an emulator and you do this and you do all that, but if they just release that and make it available on Switch, I do think that'll sell pretty well for them.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to play the old school games, you would have to have kept your old Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance throughout these entire years. You'd have to keep your cartridges. You'd have to keep your cartridges, or hopefully that you didn't lose them or damage them. And if you don't have those and you want to play, Pokemon Fire Red, you'd have to go out and buy a Game Boy Advanced, which God knows how much those are going for nowadays. And you'd also have to buy a Pokemon Fire Red version. If you want a Nintendo licensed one, you're probably going to be paying a couple $100 for them because they don't make them anymore. So you're either buying a fake version for cheap,
or you're using an emulator,
to do it on your computer or on your smartphone.
Yeah, like if you want to do it the right way, it is a very crazy process to actually, get to play these games. I still have a Game Boy Color and a Game Boy Yellow sitting around here. Or sorry, a Pokemon Yellow sitting around here somewhere. But Yeah, dude. I will always have great memories from the first time we went to Toys R Us to pick up Pokemon Red.
Hell
And
yeah.
my brother had Pokemon Blue. He was like, gay. Right. Red is where it's at. Look at fucking Charizard. How could you pass up on Pokemon Red?
Yeah.
And then Pokemon Yellow was, I probably played Pokemon Yellow maybe more than I played any other one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I had the adapter where you could put it in and play it on maybe the Super Nintendo. I think there was an adapter that you could do that. I think it was the Super Nintendo.
It might have been the 64.
It might have been the 64. You're right.
Yeah, it was the adapter that you put in the bottom of your
the
controller, and you slide it into the port in the bottom of the controller. And then the GameCube had one too. The GameCube had a Game Boy Advanced one where you can snap on this extra attachment at the bottom of your actual GameCube, and you put in a Game Boy disc, and you just put in the cartridge in the bottom of the GameCube. I still have that for my GameCube.
I think it was on my I think it was on my Super Nintendo where I first played those.
Okay. Yeah, chat's saying you can do it on the Super Nintendo too.
Yeah, it was like basically it was a game cartridge that had an extra game cartridge in there. You put it in there and you fucking put it in the Super Nintendo. And yeah, I feel like that's where I remember playing it.
Okay.
Which was nuts, man.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day.
I remember going to like Pokemon events. Like on the GameCube, there was this game Pokemon Coliseum.
Yes.
And you can only get Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon on that because the generational gap between the Game Boy Color games and the Game Boy Advance games, you couldn't transfer. So the only way you can transfer is if you played this GameCube game, Pokemon Coliseum, and you can transfer it that way. And only when you're using that attachment on the bottom of your Game Boy, it had the wire transfer little port, and you can plug in the trade cable, and you can plug in the trade cable to your Game Boy Advanced, and you can actually trade and transfer Pokemon. That was like the only way you can get Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon onto your Gen 3. Nice.
Look at that. The Super Game Boy.
Dude, look at, hey. That Game Boy looks familiar.
Wow. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
I had a yellow one because the entire reason we got the Game Boy Color was for Pokemon Yellow. Like when I bought Pokemon Yellow, we bought a Game Boy Color because before that we just had the basic bitch one.
Yeah, the big gray brick.
The big gray brick, no backlight. I had the attachment that was a magnifying glass or magnifying.
I had that
with the light on it.
I had for the Game Boy Color, I had like the coil light.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a coil light for it. Hey, check this out. I'm sure you've seen this before.
Look at that. I don't think you've showed me yours. No, look at that.
Oh, dude.
Look at blue. Blue looks well used.
Oh yeah. Got a lot of love. Both of these are really worn out. Check this out, bro. I'm proud of this. Don't ask me why that I have 3 different gold versions.
What the fuck? Why
3 different gold versions.
Well, now I have to ask why. Do you just buy them randomly when you saw them, or?
And then here's my silver. No, well, I have 3. One's mine, one's my brother's, and I think one of my childhood friends probably left it at my house, and I just never gave it back to him.
Fucking jacked it. You should put those in and see like what the name is and like how long it's been played and all that stuff.
I love doing that. Picking up old Pokemon games from like a game store and then popping it in. But
seeing what your lineup was.
Always. Well, yeah, but like if you're getting a new one, if you're getting a new game that you bought, you always go in and check the file, see if there's any legendaries on it or high-leveled Pokemon. You always trade it away to a different game that you had and then restart it. So you can, steal the legendary Pokemon from the person before you.
So you can cheat?
Yeah, and then Biggles gave me this. Biggles gave me this a year ago. Pokemon Crystal version.
Oh, that's awesome.
Look at that.
Look at that. I don't have anything to show. I don't even have anything in my fucking background.
Yeah. So. Everything's in boxes.
Somebody 3D printed this for me.
Oh, that's a 3D print?
I believe that's what they told me, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty badass.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, we got the Darth Vader helmet still in the box back there. I got to pop that back out.
Pokemon Days in a few weeks.
Did I move? Yes, I moved. So it's going to take me a while to put up all my other stuff back. It's not a fucking hotel. What kind of fucking hotel would look like this? All right. Where were we? Freddie, finally a membership after a while. By the way, aside from Pokemon, what's your favorite RPG video game? Love the fellowship. So to the awesome mods.
Shout out.
Is Pokemon, like, I don't even really consider Pokemon too much of an RPG.
Pokemon's an RPG. You name your character.
It is, yeah, but when I think of RPGs, I don't think about Pokemon, I guess.
My favorite recent RPG is probably Elden Ring.
I mean, for me, when I go back to like some of my favorite Star Wars games of all time, like Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 2, stuff like that. Like those are some of my favorites that I've ever played, not just Star Wars games, but in general games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Ryan, if you had to choose to go review FurryCon or that disgusting play, also what's up, Carl? I would 100% go to watch the play before I wanted to go to FurryCon. Like, at least I know I could make good content out of seeing the play and making fun of it. There's nothing that is appealing about going to FurryCon. Squirrel of Justice for 5. Ryan, I just dropped my sandwich on the ground. I'm sad. My cat enjoyed it. Life goes on. Beardo, you enjoy hot tubbing with gay men. That is all.
All right.
Why don't you pick your fucking sandwich up, bro?
Yeah, come on, man. 5-second rule.
Eddie Brock, hey guys, turned 30 today. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man show ended today. Peter was saved by two. Well, there's spoilers. But thank you, Eddie Brock. I don't want to, I guess if there's anybody watching along, I don't want to spoil it, but that sounds strange. Vice for 10. You can also buy the Game Boy operator and slot your original Game Boy cartridge in it and play your games on PC. You can also flash save your games to it.
Cool.
Tobias, both Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Coliseum allowed you to play the games through them, but Coliseum allowed you to use your team from the Game Boy in Coliseum's Battle Tower mode.
Yep,
I remember. Was Pokemon Stadium on the 64?
Yeah, Stadium 1 and
I feel like
Stadium
I remember
2.
that one vividly.
Yep.
Do you remember that dumb Pokemon picture game?
Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap, yes.
I loved Pokemon Snap.
I didn't fucking understand it. It's like...
You're just taking pictures of Pokemon and you're supposed to get them in while they're doing certain, I guess, poses or whatever. Like they do certain actions and animations and stuff.
Taking a drink of water or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never understood the appeal of it. It was like
Pokemon Snap was cool.
A fucking bird watching game.
Kind of. Yeah.
It just seemed boring to me.
Catch Pokemon, take pictures of Pokemon in their natural environment doing different animations.
Yeah, gay. Husker for 199. They need to add old Pokemon to the Switch.
Maybe.
That's what they're talking about potentially is going to be announced.
Yep.
I still wonder if Missingo origin is true. Not that it was cut code between an evolution link from Kangaskhan and Marowak being cut last minute and hidden on Cinnabar Island, causing the missing gnome.
I think it was just a glitch.
Who knows? We also have some other news, Beer. I know you're a big Doctor Who fan.
Huge.
You've told me over and over again how much you enjoy Doctor Who and how you were looking forward to black gay Doctor Who, Ncuti Gatwa.
Couldn't wait.
Unfortunately, it seemed like nobody else really cared. It had the worst ratings we'd seen in history for Doctor Who when they decided to make Doctor Who black and gay and flamboyantly so and make all of the episodes about how he was black and gay. And now, shockingly, it looks like its future might be in doubt. There was a big report that came out, I think yesterday or the day before. Exterminate? Doctor Who facing axe as lead star Ncuti Gatwa quits amid woeful ratings and fans' fury at woke storylines. And it's basically, I mean, this is a tale we've seen how many times over the past several years or several decades, I suppose, taking these IPs that people love, deciding to insert things that a lot of people have rejected time and time again. When it doesn't work, calling them racist, calling them bigots, and expecting that'll get them to tune back into the show. But ultimately, it doesn't happen. Now, apparently, what this report says is that after season 2, like, because it was a 26 episode contract, 13 for the first, 13 for the second. After this 26 episode contract is up, he wants nothing to do with it anymore. He doesn't like the abuse that he's been taking and the backlash that's happened and everything. And he's basically done. The BBC came out and said, hey, we're waiting to see the results of season 2 before we make any decision about the future. But apparently it's already fucking done and probably rightly should be. Black gay Doctor Who was one of the biggest disasters that we've seen over the last couple of years. And as bad a shape as, different franchises are in, I'm glad that I never really cared all that much about Doctor Who. I've watched a handful of episodes here and there, a handful of specials when I was asked to for some reason or another. I don't understand how anyone could watch it. It is completely insufferable what I watched at some points during this run. And honestly, it's for the best if he decides to walk away and they put this show on a fucking hiatus for a while before they bring it back, because it is completely disconnected to what fans want.
Yeah, I know nothing about Doctor Who. I think I've maybe seen one episode, and I think that's because Jed, the Hollywood Scholar, forced me to try to get into the series. But I know absolutely nothing except for Matt Smith was the Doctor one time, and then Barty Crouch Jr. was the Doctor
David
for a while.
Tennant.
David Tennant. That's about
that you called David Tennant Barty Crouch Jr. Is pretty good.
Yeah, so that's my knowledge of Doctor Who.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. But this report basically says that it's over. His run as Doctor Who is over. And, the BBC came out. The BBC rejects report that Doctor Who and Ncuti Gatwa are being axed over wokery backlash. And the statement from the BBC is not, hey, don't worry, we're going to stick with Ncuti Gatwa for a long time. It's like, hey, we're waiting to see how this second season goes before we officially say anything about the future, which probably means it's fucking done. And rightly should be. But as bad as some of these franchises like Star Wars, Marvel, DC, however far you think your specific fandom has fallen, I don't know if anything quite compares to Doctor Who and what they've done to it over the last couple of years with female Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker, and now black gay Doctor Who, Ncuti Gatwa. So if you're never a fan of it, you should count yourself lucky. Personally.
Get him out.
Get him out of there.
Just get him out.
Deported.
See ya.
Did you see that? Did you see what they did yesterday with the fucking Odyssey movie?
I saw the picture of Matt Damon floating around.
Well, I also saw a picture of Matt Damon floating around. This big announcement, the first reveal of Matt Damon as Odysseus in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which obviously we've heard a lot of casting announcements about that, and people didn't really know who was going to play who. Well, Matt Damon is going to play Odysseus, which I think of all of the people who've been announced, I think that's a relief to a lot of people to hear that.
Best choice, yeah.
However, something interesting happened. Something very interesting. Matt Damon's role in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey revealed with first look photo. However, now when you go to this first look photo, it's been copyright claimed.
Whoa.
Now, maybe it wasn't supposed to be announced yet. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be put out yet. I don't know. But the crazy thing is, the movie itself, this is the account for the fucking movie. They're the ones that put it out. Like, that's a gold star check mark by the Odyssey movie. And apparently, Universal copyright claimed the photo from the Odyssey movie itself. So I'm not even going to show, because I still can find pictures of it out there, but I'm not going to show because I don't even know if it's supposed to be out there. But what a weird fucking situation for the movie itself to tweet it out and it get removed by the copyright holder. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Unless they weren't satisfied. Unless they plan on making another tweet with a better photo, but then why not just delete the tweet?
That was the weird thing to me. I don't think it was a very good first look if that's what they were going for. And maybe it wasn't supposed to be released or whatever. But yes, why not just delete the tweet instead of somehow the copyright owners pulled it down from the fucking movie itself. And the post is still up there. Matt Damon is Odysseus, a film by Christopher Nolan. Media not displayed. Now, look, I like Universal theme parks and stuff like that, and some of the movies that come out with some of the movies I fucking hate. They are notorious copyright claim heavy or copyright claim heavy sometimes, but I don't think I've ever seen them copyright claim their own movie before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's weird, man. Yesterday. If you didn't like the first look, just delete the tweet, unless. Even then, like, there's no excuse to copyright it. Like, because what if he's not playing Odysseus? Then maybe, I guess, you would copyright or take it down. I don't know. But then again, still, you would just delete the tweet if it was a mistweet. I don't know. That's bizarre.
Yeah, but the Odyssey account with the gold star tweeted it out, right, which means that is the official Odyssey movie Twitter account.
Mm-hmm.
And he got copyright claimed. Like, I don't fucking understand how that works.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
Someone said Homer. That's true. Maybe Homer from Beyond the Grave did it. Maybe it wasn't actually Universal. Maybe it wasn't actually theirs. Maybe it wasn't theirs. All right. Where are we here? Raiden Roach, love the hat, Beardo. Roberto Clemente, all-time fave.
There you go. Thank you for the $2.
Eddie Brock for $2.49. This is MCU DEI Spidey, not Cobra Kai, Ryan. I mean, it's true. I don't know how many people are going to enjoy that. Dude, Cobra Kai, last 5 episodes were fucking amazing. They were. The perfect end. The perfect end to that. In my opinion, at least. Stephen McBride for 2. Beardo thinks Doctor Who juicy hot wad is sexy as fuck.
What the hell, dude?
Is that true?
I don't know what these people are fucking saying. Thank you, Stephen. Whatever.
All right. Where are we? I think we're all caught up there. Look at a nice tight show. I don't know how Daly's been going since I've been gone. Haven't been able to pay attention. Been too busy unpacking the house, moving shit around. Almost knocked this fucking over right here. But it's a tight ship when I'm back in charge. All right. I should be on the next couple of days. Should be back to me and Jay for Thursday and Friday. That's the way it should be unless anything comes up. But I will be back to my mostly normal schedule here soon. I am going to stream tonight on my channel. I'm going to do the Wednesday stream. I probably am not going to have anything up in the background. I'm just going to look like a fucking bum, but whatever. That is what it is. What do you got going on, Beardo?
I don't know. I might play some Red Dead during the day today before our Wednesday night Geeks and Gamers video games tonight. We're playing Party Animals tonight, Ryan. Just so you know. Not Fall Guys, Party Animals.
Well, I probably am not going to be able to join on this one just because I do like Party Animals way better. Fall Guys are stupid. I fucking hate that game. But I'll probably be on future Party Animal streams. But I just probably got too much unpacking and stuff like that to do. We'll see, though. But that's over on Geeks and Gamers Play?
Yep, Geeks and Gamers Play tonight, Party Animals. And then I might play some Red Dead here in a little bit.
There you go. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the best games we've had in the last 10 years, bar none.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Is Ryan wearing makeup? Bro, if I was wearing makeup, I would look a lot better than I do. I have naturally very good skin, maybe. Maybe that's why you think I'm wearing makeup. I'm not sure. The lighting is also a little different in here. I've got like kind of like yellow, like not the daylight lights, but like the yellow tinged light, the soft white light or whatever.
Okay.
I've got that going on. So maybe that's it. But yes, it's totally a beauty filter, Macro. That's just it's very nice that you guys think I have a beauty filter on. It would be amazing. But no, unfortunately, I don't. This is just me. But that's it for us. We've gone an hour. Beardo, thanks for joining me. We will see you guys tomorrow, Geeks and Gamers Daily, with Ryan and Jay. And I will talk to all of you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.